here today to show you how to make your lighthouse window art. We're doing this project with loads of schools in the Shetlands and the Orkney Islands and the Western Isles. So you should have either got your pack sent to you home, or you're in a school hub and your teachers have been sent a big pack which they'll share out all the materials with you. In your pack there's an introduction about what the project's all about. There are some instructions and there's a load of kit as well. If you haven't been sent a pack and you're viewing this and you'd like to join in, you will need a thin bit of plastic. This can be something recycled or from a florist stuff. Plastic's really good. You need 2 sheets of thin white tissue paper and then coloured tissue paper in a selection of colours that you might want to use, some thin black card, and we're doing lighthouses today, but actually you could use any shape. So if you did want to do a lighthouse, it's really good to do an outline of your lighthouse to work from. You will also need some glue, which is PVA glue, which has been diluted. So you need 1 part glue to 2 parts of water, and then you need a paintbrush, a particularly wide one, or if you don't have one of those, you could just use a sponge. And what I do is I cut the sponge in half. That's really good to use if you don't have a paintbrush. All right, let's crack on and I'll show you how to make it. Okay, so first you will need your outline. Place it in front of you on the table and tape it down. And then you need your clear plastic sheet and place that over the top. Tape that down as well. Once it's securely taped down, you're ready to put the background on and start adding the colour. So I've got an example here of one that I've done, and you can see I've torn up the bits of tissue paper to make the background, and I've torn up tissue paper there to fill in the bits of the lighthouse I want colour on. So but while we've got dry hands, if you get all your tissue paper and cut or tear them, or a combination of the both, into little bits ready to be stuck on. So do this for each colour. And do some smaller bits in the red. You could even do 2 sheets at a time. So tear up all the bits that you want and then just put them to one side. Make sure you tear up all the bits of tissue paper that you want. You could also cut little bits if that's easier. Put them all to one side, out of the way of the glue. The next bit we need to do is we need to cover all of this with a base. We need to use the white tissue paper for this. So get your paintbrush or your sponge and get your glue solution. So again, just to remind you, this is PVA glue. You see it's quite runny. So I've done 1 part glue to 2 parts water to make it quite runny. And the first job, I'm going to use a sponge. This bit gets quite messy. Get lots of glue on, and we need to cover all the plastic with a thin layer of glue. We're talking thin, guys. We don't want too much glue because it ends up going everywhere. Make sure you cover your picture completely. Then place your first bit of tissue paper down. You should have enough glue on your brush or in your sponge. Go over the tissue paper, making sure it's all covered with glue so it flattens down really nicely. And then you need your second piece over the top. I'm going to dip a little bit more glue in. You get it on anything. So now I've got 2 layers. It's all got a thin layer of glue on, so it's nice and flat. I'm ready to start adding my colour. I'm going to start with my lighthouse. So I've got those bits that I've cut up. And I'm going to start with the bottom bit. It's going to be red. Next, I'm going to do the light for my lighthouse, which is up here. Again, I'm using the little screwed up bits that I've got just to fill in the colours, a bit like a puzzle. Now I'm going to start my background. I'm going to do a mixture of kind of dark blues, light blues and purples. Right, now I've done most of my coloured areas. Now I'm going to use the black paper to put some details in. So what you can do is just cut very thin strips to do a bit of an outline and to do some window details. Maybe do the door. And then make sure you put a layer of glue over the top to hold it down. If it's drying a little bit where you're intending to put the black paper, just put a little thin layer of glue on. And now one of the last things I'm going to do, I've got some rocky bits in the front. So, I mean, you can either cut it like that. Because it's quite a big bit of plastic, I'm just going to put a load of glue on the bottom. A big bit of paper even. Again, a bit of glue on the top. Right, I think I'm happy with that. I've got all my bits down. It's all covered with glue and nice and flat. So now it just needs to dry. So it's probably good to let it dry for overnight if you can, or near a radiator, but leave it to dry flat. And then once it's dry, we can peel it off the plastic and it's ready to be displayed on a window. Great, have fun. Right, so I've left the artwork to dry and it all feels dry now. Some of it's peeling away already by itself. So what you need to do now is you just need to peel it off the plastic sheet. We don't need the plastic sheet anymore. And that is ready to display in a window. If it's really untidy around the edges, you could just give it a little trim. A little bit damp still, just to get off, tidy up the edges. But once all that's tidy, then it's ready to hang up in a window. I've got a light here so you can kind of see the